Welcome back to Bookend Gaming.
You're Travis. And this is the fruit of Grisaia.
Sorry, I blacked out. I hope that wasn't annoying.
I'm also here.
Yeah, you're Eric.
Yeah.
That's the part you didn't say. It's also Tuesday,
right.
In case you didn't know. Some of you don't, because when we upload something on the wrong day or don't upload on a Tuesday, you're like, oh, no.
We tricked you with that DDLC.
Uploaded a DDLC and everyone's like, well, Donald Trump.
It's Tuesday. Wait, no, it's Monday.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to make fun of you. It's just, you shouldn't base any of your generalizations about the world on us. That's a mistake.
And I'm going to be playing a lot of anime games, so.
Yeah, we're always going to default to anime.
Our whole channel should just be Otaku Tuesday at this point.
How dare you? But I got to finish Zelda.
Yeah, there's lots of other good games, too. We promise. Check them out.
We don't play any of them, but they exist. We play the shitty ones.
That's true. There's a lot of that.
Oh, no.
I don't know. Family Game Night was a hoot.
Right. Now you have to upload that before this one comes out.
I don't think that'll be a problem.
You definitely will. Yeah, this is the second one we're doing today.
Yeah. See what I did there? I don't know. Let's go.
Peek behind the curtain. All right, read your shit before I go on a weird tangent again.
We already read this.
No, you didn't. It's not blue.
I thought I read... Okay.
Oh, maybe you did.
I'll leave these with you.
No, it's been a week.
Quick, easily absorbed calories in convenient package, like me, which means they're very valuable. Keep them safe and do not touch them until I say you can. Understood?
You did read that already. Why'd you read it again?
I don't know.
Okay, got it.
Previously on Otaku Tuesday.
I miss Otaku.
He came back for the Honey Pop episode.
Yeah, I guess.
But not on the day he was intended for.
Right. He can't just be dropping off into other days, cheating on Tuesday like that.
He's got to make his money somehow.
Yeah, well, we keep skipping Tuesdays, so. If Kazuki was entrusting me with such important provisions, it was clear she genuinely trusted me.
She just wants you to take the fall.
Yeah. I absolutely couldn't betray that trust.
That bitch has all the candy!
Stop biting your lower lip. At this heavy sense of responsibility, I stared intently at the chocolate in my hand. Watching my reaction, Kazuki sighed slowly through her nose.
Melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
So do I.
I don't dislike that serious personality of yours, but she just sounds like a robot. But
that's fine.
Please don't confuse your overreactive sense
of just change your voice.
Yeah, of responsibility.
We were actually talking. I'm sorry, I'm about to go on a tangent again.
Let me finish this. Responsibility with your actual responsibilities.
Okay. We were actually talking about me changing the Amane voice. Because we finish an episode. Like, these episodes are like 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
Ever since she took over as a narrator, we finish an episode, and I legitimately feel lightheaded doing this. Like, because it's all exhale.
It's all exhaling.
And I don't want to stop, like, every 3 words and go,
right.
I'd be like Chocolate Rain and turn from the mic every time I have to take a breath.
It's like you just ran a marathon after we do every single episode.
Right. Also, his name is Tay Zonde, not Chocolate Rain. I know that. Don't fucking at me. I may have said his name wrong. Don't at me about that either. You don't know my Twitter handle.
Stop adding us. Please don't stop adding us, actually.
Nobody adds us.
You can't add us. We're not on Discord.
I'm talking... No, it's fucking Twitter, man.
I know. But
we are on Discord, by the way.
Yeah. I guess.
If anyone wants an invite, just let us know,
We've
I
never
guess.
done anything with it. It's not even done.
It is done. It's sitting there. I was just on it a couple days ago, actually.
Oh.
There's nothing there. It's literally, it's a barren wasteland.
Well, I mean, we didn't even, like, establish roles or anything. I think we made ourselves blue and then didn't do anything.
That's all you need, baby. That's all you need. Okay, go on.
That habit of approaching everything as a trial to be stoically endured reminds me of rather painfully of my little brother. People like that tend to die young, you know?
Like my little brother.
He died young, at the age of 7.
Oh my God, she's been dead the whole time. Responsibility and my sense of responsibility? What's the difference?
What's the difference?
I mean, come on. I was trying to do a breathy Seinfeld.
Your responsibilities are the burden you must carry. A sense of responsibility is what leads people to shoulder weight they need not bear. Don't lose sight of that distinction.
I don't really get it, but I'll do my best to act like I do.
I don't get it, but I don't need to get it either. If Kazuki says so, that's the way it is. Some things will never change.
That's the way? Uh-huh.
I like it. I was aware I'd taken the easy path in letting someone else think for me, but honestly, I didn't really care anymore.
That's what she wants you to do.
A clumsy idiot who tries to take a heavy burden on their shoulders won't achieve anything but catastrophic failure. I understood that just fine, even before Kazuki drove the point home.
And furthermore, and hitherto.
For that very reason, let me talk about it for another 20 minutes and kill Travis for good. I decided to obey her orders without a second thought. Kazuki told me I couldn't eat that candy without her permission, so I would sit on my haunches, slobbering like a dog, until she spoke the magic words. If permission never came, I'd wait out the years and carry them to my grave. In this situation, where nothing seemed certain except uncertainty, the one and only thing I had come to believe in was Kazumi Kazuki. I kept that thought to myself, since I was well aware she'd only offer another sarcastic, "Might you be mistaking me for God?" in response.
Nailed
But at this point... What?
Nailed it.
Yeah, thanks. Her voice. Yeah, I can't... There's no way I could change from that to your... I would probably have answered, "Huh? You're not?" That was what Kazumi Kazuki had become for me.
I've become a god! Ooh. Is this night 4?
Is it another
or day
day?
5? I think it's night 4. Oh, it is.
Oh, we're just running through these days
Damn.
now. Oh, I can't wait to
Big
be
day
over.
in the valley.
Sorry, that's mean to say.
Wait for it to be over.
I just want to see what happens. The 5th day in the valley. Let's begin from the conclusion. Today it rained all day long.
This is the day.
Uh-oh.
Something happens.
To be honest, I had no idea rain could be this unpleasant. The constant drumming of water against the tent was unexpectedly loud, enough to make conversation difficult, and the light entering the tent was far dimmer than usual. Thanks to my strong astigmatism, everything seemed fuzzy and indistinct, so it was extremely difficult to do much of anything. But the bigger problem was the rainwater that oozed up from the ground beneath us, and the damp chill it brought. This morning, I woke to a real double whammy, the psychological jolt of emerging from a familiar nightmare,
Definitely no big money.
and the physical pain of a throbbing headache. I'd piled 2 mats under my sleeping bag last night, but when I came to, I was soaking wet. My body temperature had fallen as I slept, and the chilled blood running through my veins had numbed the blood vessels in my brain. Oh, brain freeze.
I did a dumbs.
Even after waking, my calorie-starved body struggled to warm itself. My teeth chattering uncontrollably in my mouth, I started reproachfully up through the tent at the stared. That's the word.
Mhm.
At the merciless sky.
You stared through the tent?
Sure, and maybe it's got like a clear...
Oh, cool.
Ugh,
Fancy.
I'm so cold, Kazuki. Changing out of my wet clothes might have helped matters somewhat if my spare outfit hadn't been soaked through
This
as
is
well.
where they get naked and cuddle.
Yeah! I hit on the idea of a hot drink. These, like, young girls are all dying, and we're like,
Yeah!
Get it, girl!
Get yours!
Awful. It's Yuji. That's not us. Yuji's saying that.
Yeah.
About his sister.
That makes it better.
Of course.
Did you do bang?
Oh, it's so hot. I hit on the idea of a hot drink after a few minutes, but it was pouring outside the tent. Starting a fire would have been difficult, and more importantly, the fierce sound of rain striking against the canvas had thoroughly drained me of the willpower to even poke my head outside.
Ooh. Want another cup of onion tea?
Apparently
It's
unable to
delicious.
just sit back and watch, Kazuki had ventured out in the midst of the downpour for my sake, bringing back boiling water from our onion skin extract beverage.
Oh, God.
That's
terrible.
Yeah. Stuff was never really worth the name tea, but by now we'd let those same skins seep so many times, it was little more than faintly yellow water.
Mm.
Of course, I was plenty happy to have even that, and Kazuki's act of mercy contrasted so strongly with my own cowardice that I felt about ready to cry with gratitude. Stop crying so much. Making me sad. I'm a sympathetic crier.
Yeah.
I really am, like real bad. I don't even have to know what someone's crying about. I will start tearing
Right.
up if I see someone crying.
I just think about sad things sometimes. And it's
I
like,
can't handle it. There's a scene in Breaking Bad where like a little kid is crying, like starts to cry and
Yeah.
call for her mom. And I'm just like,
Oh,
no!
I hate that stuff now.
I hate it.
I can't watch that stuff
I've
now.
always been bad about that stuff, but yeah, it's definitely worse now that I've got a kid.
Right.
Kids. Whatever. Her wet hair matted like that's gonna confuse people, like a stray dog's coat. I couldn't exactly fire off a casual, "Sure, a refill would be nice." My hand still gripping the empty cup, I slowly shook my head.
This storm is awful.
Yes, indeed. There was quite a lot of loud thunder just before dawn, although it seems it wasn't enough to wake you up.
Well, I guess I was vaguely aware of some loud sounds, but yeah.
Even when the roars jolted me awake for a moment, my listlessness quickly overwhelmed me again. I simply didn't have the energy to wake up that early. Immediately after the fall, I'd been unable to sleep through the night. As I dozed lightly with frequent interruptions, the morning often seemed to sneak up on me before I knew it. But lately, that had changed dramatically. Once I managed to doze off, it was very difficult to wake up. More and more, falling asleep felt like sinking into a thick bed of mud.
Yeah, just sleep all the time.
Yeah, that's smart.
I guess I'm just tired.
I think you're exhausted emotionally more than physically. Also, the biggest factor is that you're simply beginning to grow used to this place. When you're sleeping in an environment that's both harsh and unfamiliar, your unconscious mind is not only processing memories, but also maintaining a vigilant awareness of your surroundings. Your eyes will spring open at the smallest sound.
That sounded plausible, now that she mentioned it. The first few days sleeping in the tent, the stirring of a neighbor next door would be enough to jerk me awake. Quiet down over there! And my eyes would open automatically at the first light of dawn.
Stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
In that respect, Kazuki was an ideal tent mate. Once asleep, she'd lie so still in her bag, I sometimes half worried she'd suddenly died in there. Never once heard her snore or grunt in her sleep. Lately, Kazuki had been sleeping on a very regular schedule. We'd start preparations for dinner at 6:30 p.m. and finish our meal by 7, or what passed for a meal at this point at least. By 8, I'd notice her stifling small yawns, and around 9, she'd come out and declare herself sleepy.
Oh man, that's like me.
Hi, sleepy, I'm dad. At 10, she would crawl into our tent.
Oh, I would be asleep by then.
Oh, yeah. I usually am too, except for like weekends.
Yeah.
Cheerfully spread out her sleeping bag, take off her uniform, and leave it neatly folded at her bedside. And the instant her head hit the rucksack she used for a pillow, she'd exhale noisily just once and go silent. Within 10 seconds, I'd hear the soft, regular breathing that indicated she'd fallen asleep. Of course, I couldn't flip the switch to sleep mode quite so easily, or on such a predictable schedule. My conversational partner lost, I had very little to do with myself late at night. So until I managed to fall asleep, I'd just flick the bean. I'd stave off boredom by staring at Kazuki's sleeping face.
Hers or yours?
I flicked my bean while staring at her face. After a few minutes in dreamland, she'd occasionally make faces in her sleep, most often furrowing her brow in a caricature of troubled thought, sometimes smiling dopily at nothing in particular.
Hey Kazuki, do you have dreams?
Of course I have dreams.
I've got dreams!
Yeah, that burst out in a song. Let's see, when I grow up, I'd like to be a nurse or a florist. Running a little pastry shop would be lovely as well.
That's not what I'm talking about.
And in the first place, what's with the half-assed attempt at pretending you're some run-of-the-mill girl with cutesy little dreams? Forget being a nurse. You'd be much better suited to be the role of a black market surgeon with a tattered old doctor's robe. Florist, cupcake peddler, try con artist, maybe the founder of some sketchy cult.
You don't think very highly of me, do you? Ah, so by dreams, you're referring to the ones we see while we sleep. Of course, I dream in that sense as well.
About being a florist or a baker.
What sort of dreams do you have?
Have you ever thought about how weird dreams are? I mean, you enter a mini coma for about 8 hours and then
you get to watch a movie.
Yeah, you get to watch a movie and then wake up and have amnesia about it.
Yeah, it's always the worst when it's like, that dream was awesome. What happened?
I don't know, but I remember it was awesome and
Yeah,
that's it.
Exactly. You remember the feeling.
I entered our school when I was somewhat bewildered by the confusing self-service system in the cafeteria. For me, such dislocated memories of the past seems to be the most frequent. I can't say I have many of the more symbolic flying through the sky variety.
No kidding. Lately, I've been having a lot of dreams where I fall from a high place.
Well, you did fall from a high place,
Right.
so
That's just a memory.
that's a nightmare now.
I've had dreams of the sort ever since I was a child.
It's just a myclonic jerk. Most often, and that's that thing where your brain, like when you start to fall
Yeah.
asleep, you feel that it's your brain going, "Oh God, you're dying. Let me
Yeah.
help." In case anyone didn't know, call me Bill Nye, the science Travis. Wait, no, it would be Travis Nye, the science
Travis.
guy.
Nye?
That would have made sense. But my name's not Travis Nye.
Bill Travis?
That just sounds like a country singer.
It does.
I'm falling from the top of a cliff as the ground beneath my feet crumbles to nothing, and I plunge downward. I stare in quiet composure at the earth far below.
That's the name of your song. I'm falling from the top of a cliff.
The ground beneath my feet. My thoughts are oddly calm. Guess I'm going to land right about there. And as long as I keep that detached perspective, I never seem to hit the ground. But eventually it occurs to me that I'm dreaming. In the next moment, I slam into the earth and jerk awake in my bed, my whole body rigid with shock.
And then I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun.
What might a dream like that signify? Kazuki's answer was brief. It means you're uneasy. Other than falling, my most common dream was probably of the running variety. Oh, excuse me. This very morning, I had found myself fleeing from some vaguely defined but menacing pursuers.
Pure sewers.
Pure sewers.
Pure piercers.
We gotta clean under the city and make these sewers pure.
Pure.
A countless number of black shadows hot on my heels. I was pushing my way desperately forward through oily, thick air, dragging my strangely heavy legs along the ground. The illusion was unusually persistent. Even when I realized it was a dream, it kept its hold on me. Just as I began to beg myself to wake up, my eyes had slowly opened to the sensation of that throbbing headache. I turned on my cell phone briefly to check the time. Apparently it was already past 2 p.m. The rain was still hammering fiercely down. By now the tent was half submerged in muddy water.
Ugh.
There was nothing to do but curl myself up in my heavy white uniform, rubbing my arms and trembling from the cold.
Oof, your tent somewhere.
Right? I mean, you'd have to get out to do that.
Yeah.
Although I was doing nothing at all, my stomach was still growling. And although my stomach was growling, it was still raining outside. I feel like I would want to camp in the bus. There's the seats you could sleep on.
Yeah,
It's
well,
got a roof.
it's tipped over, I think, isn't it? On its side.
Oh, yeah, I guess. But still, it's like more cover than a tent would give you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there's no room
Probably,
to lay
well,
down.
and it probably smells like dead people now.
Oh, that's true. Whatever, just snuggle up to them for warmth. It was still raining outside. Thinking of the time it would take to start a cooking fire, I lost all motivation to try. What were the other girls doing right now?
Let's go ask him.
I took a quick glance out the entrance of the tent, but there didn't seem to be anyone moving through the downpour. They must have all been quietly enduring the storm in their tents. Or they're all dead.
Yeah.
The steady drumming of the rain was the only sound I could hear. The cries of the cicadas, so vigorous and persistent when the weather was clear, were utterly gone. So too the eerie shrieks of the unseen birds hidden in the treetops above.
I miss the birds.
Kazuki? Suddenly wanting to hear another human voice, I called Kazuki's name, but there was no response. When I looked over, I found Kazuki sitting on her sleeping mat, just as before, but at some point her eyes had fallen closed. Right, it's 2 o'clock. Nappy nap.
Nappy nap.
Every day Kazuki would take a nap sometime between 2 and 3 in the afternoon.
My eyes are open, the lids are just over them.
I was never more than a quick 15-minute doze. I almost said dooze.
Doozy.
So the first few times I thought she'd just nodded off out of exhaustion. But it happened every day at roughly the same time. So it soon became obvious this little siesta was part of her schedule. You don't have to sleep sitting up, you know. Nobody's going to complain if you lie down like a normal person. Of course, considering the minor flood we had going on in here, there probably wouldn't be much more relaxing option at the moment. This was a grave problem indeed. We'd have to think up a countermeasure of some sort before it happened again.
Build a raft.
But the damp floor isn't the only inconvenience brought on by the rain. For one thing, writing in this diary isn't easy when the pages are wet.
Oh, no.
And unfortunately, I've been in the grips of a much more serious dilemma for a while now.
Some of the words just become like smudgy and
Right.
you can't read it all
I
now.
gotta poo. Probably thanks to that big mug of onion tea this morning, currently enduring a desperate need for a visit to the bathroom.
Yep.
Ooh,
I poo.
The urge to pee was painfully intense, requiring constant effort to restrain. My pen trembled against the diary pages as I wrote. I mean, your clothes are already wet.
Yeah. Pee in onion water.
And I mean, it's already yellow. I surveyed the interior of the tent, but found nothing that might serve as a makeshift umbrella or raincoat. When this rain lets up, I'm going straight to the captain and proposing we cobble together an outhouse with a roof. Just pee in the bus. I'm making a special note of that here, so it can't possibly slip my mind.
Use the bus for something.
Right.
Oh, cicadas are back. Damn, day 6?
Yeah. Wow. We're just plowing through these days
Yeah.
now. The 6th day in the valley. After a full day of unrelenting rain, did I ever get to pee? We woke to the blessedly clear morning.
Lucidly the doozed.
We awoke to the sun.
We blessedly doozed.
We herped or derp. Our life here has begun to assume something of a rhythm. Initially, our mornings were a bit chaotic, with people crawling out of their tents at random times. But recently, everyone's been waking up by 6 a.m. at the latest. Although it would be more accurate to say they're being forcibly woken up.
Just one random girl that's like super happy. She's like, morning's here. The morning's here. And it was like, shut up.
You're back.
Yeah.
Naturally, the one beating the stragglers out of bed is none other than my partner, Kazuki.
That's right. I already took the Friends quote.
Yeah, in your face, Anatar. Of course, that doesn't mean she literally goes around thrashing them.
Just kidding. We love his quotes.
Yeah, it's fine. You'll find something else, I'm sure. That would be much too inefficient. The recipient of her violence is the bottom of an anodized aluminum cooking pot. 15 minutes before the 6 a.m. wake-up call, Kazuki dangled the pot in question from a tree branch and began to wail away on the metal surface with a wooden sword she's nicknamed the Punishment Rod, producing a piercing series of clangs.
I've met the end of that many times. 15 minutes until morning muster.
Oh, I was taking a drink. I was hoping she was talking more.
Nope, that's it.
Then shouted a wake-up call in the full military style. What's the deal with that punishment rod, anyway? She never uses it on me, and when she does, she doesn't look at me during. Sadly, it's nothing more than a crude wooden sword we'd used to split watermelons.
Nice.
As part of our recreational activities at the camp. None of us own phones. And when someone as tiny as Kazuki brandishes it around, looks like less of a weapon, more like a prop for some corny slapstick routine.
Hey, Gallagher here.
Where did all the watermelons go? We should have brought them.
Right?
10 minutes after that initial wake-up came the signal for folding hammocks. Apparently we're on an old-fashioned battleship now. After 5 minutes to roll up our sleeping bag and mat, the pot received another vigorous thrashing for the 6 a.m. muster. All hands lined up in front of the tents for roll call.
Well, that's why everyone's asleep by 10. They wake up at 6.
Yeah, Jesus. Obviously, this is all pretty annoying, and at first there were a lot of complaints.
I guess they do. It's so hot. They did say that they do stuff in the morning before it gets hot.
Yeah. But when forcibly informed that fixing a regular schedule of activity in order to reset your body's internal clock is the fundamental basis of a sound health maintenance plan, nobody had enough of a counter-argument to voice open objections. And so, in the end, every morning, the entire group gathers obediently in a line for the daily physical.
Oh, yeah. Bend and cough.
Or as the seniors refer to it behind our backs, Professor Kazumi's tour of inspection. Cup check. These health checkups amount to little more than a quick interview about any ailments, followed by any words of caution the doctor has to offer.
Make sure nobody's smuggling chocolate in their cooch.
Gross! Is that like a euphemism for shitting themselves?
Sure. No. But
I mean,
if you want to think of it that way,
there's
I
no
guess.
outhouse. But considering our isolation and general clue, if I ever shit my pants, you're like, guys, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm smuggling chocolate.
Some chocolate in my cooch.
Yeah. Oh my God. Speaking of which,
Oh God, no.
I have to go on a tangent
Please
again.
go.
I'm sorry. We're old.
I mean, no, but all right.
Yes, we are. Just live with that. I fear that I am rapidly approaching the age where I can't trust a fart anymore.
Okay.
Like, there's been some times where I'm like, okay, time to fart, and I go, wait, maybe I shouldn't. 'Cause
That
I'm like,
might be a bad idea.
it's one of those things where I'm like, I know eventually I'm gonna hit that life milestone of I shit myself because I couldn't fart correctly because I'm old.
Right.
It's gonna happen.
We're not that old. Jesus.
We're old. We are old. I'm old in spirit, and my body's broken, and I'm gonna shit myself soon, and I'm scared, okay? I just have to tell someone before it happens. So look forward to the episode where I confess that
Yeah.
I've shit my pants.
You're just gonna just randomly be like, "It happened."
I'm gonna like bust down your door. It happened. It happened on the
in
drive
the middle
out
of an
here.
episode.
I don't want to shart in
The
an
time
episode.
has come.
But it's a genuine fear.
Yeah.
Like literally, like I will be sitting there playing a game and like I'll be like, all right, go to fart, and then go, no, I'll go to the bathroom just in case because I don't want to shit my pants.
That's a great topic of conversation for the channel.
Sorry,
For all of our fans.
I am
Come up with a friend's quote for that one.
Genuinely scared of shitting my pants. I don't want to do it, and it's gonna happen. Oh God, I'm so afraid.
You live in fear of the chocolate cooch.
I don't want to smuggle chocolate. You gotta roll that dice. I gotta become a gambling man and roll those dice every time.
I wasn't expecting that.
I'm sorry. It's just something that came up. Just recently.
Suddenly.
Yeah, I'll say. All right, we can get back to the game now.
All right. I don't know if this was red.
I'm actually
I don't
afraid.
think I care anymore.
Oh, God. But considering our isolation and general cluelessness, Kazuki's extensive knowledge has become something of a reassuring guidepost for many, so this daily advice is fairly well received for the most part. As the comparison to an imperious doctor sweeping around their hospital might suggest, Kazuki has a retinue?
Routine?
What is that word? No, retinue. I think it's retinue. Retinue on these rounds. I tag along beside her from one patient to the next, taking notes in the memo pad we've devoted to medical records. Too bad I keep taking pages from my journal. Oh, sorry. I'm trying not to shit myself. The summary I jot down at the end of the page doesn't change much from day to day. No major problems given the circumstances. To rephrase, everyone's suffering from varying degrees of malnutrition, but they're not about to keel over and die today or tomorrow. Well, then skip a couple days. After the general inspection, we turn our attention to those who suffered external injuries.
Kinda.
That is Canada and the cut on her forehead, as well as Sakurai and her lacerated abdomen. What about broken legs? Did she die?
I don't know. She's not there anymore.
We perform what treatment we can, cleaning the crudely stitched wounds with a disinfectant made from wild herbs, then replacing their bandages with ones we washed clean and sterilized in boiling water.
Which they just forget she exists.
Oh God,
the narrator just forgets she exists.
It's like a little kid forgetting to feed their fish for like a week.
Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, she was in that tent.
Yeah. And finally, we stop by to visit Haruka-san. There it is.
Haruka-san.
In the tent to wipe the sweat from her feverish body. Well, this part's pretty much exclusively my job by now. When the morning rounds are finished at last, I seek out Mr. Ochi and report everyone's health acceptable, while Kazuki heads to Koide-senpai's tent.
Yeah, Mr. Ochi, the super helpful teacher.
Doesn't even talk.
Hasn't even been here.
The daily rations for each individual are being adjusted depending on the severity of their malnutrition symptoms, as diagnosed by Kazuki. The distribution of the day's food, or as Kazuki now refers to it, chow time, is held at 7 a.m. Until then, everyone's supposed to take care of their laundry and air out their bedding.
Yeah, I mean, they really just let her be the leader after it being doing this whole
just
thing
kinda
of where
happened.
it's like she gets no seniority because she's
Yeah,
first year or whatever.
2 days ago, she was playing the game to try to get to that point.
Yeah.
And I guess it just happened off screen. Because
Right.
where's the captain to argue with her about
Yeah,
all
the
this
captain
stuff?
or the teacher should be the one that's
I'm
food
telling
time,
you-
right?
I'm telling you, they're off banging. Because I still don't trust that teacher.
I see.
You never know. In particular, our sleeping bags have to be thoroughly dried in the sun on a regular basis, or they'll be sprouting clumps of mold before we know it.
Oh, you can eat it.
Right? That's penicillin. Give it to the dying girl.
Yeah, there you go.
After passing on the medical report, I return to our tent, grab Kazuki's bedding along with mine, then lay them out on top of the tent to dry. Finally, I head to the stream to take care of our combined laundry, then make my way to the captain's tent with our rice cooker to receive our daily rations. The routine started normally enough this morning, but at this final step, we ran into our first serious breakdown in the process.
Ooh, it's
One
time.
that will probably have lingering effects going forward. I arrived slightly early at the captain's tent, where she manages our entire food supply in cooperation with Mr. Ochi and her partner, Koifish, was waiting inside as usual, but today her face was ghastly pale.
Yeah, it looks the same. What am I going to do?
Huh? Did something happen?
Did somebody say something? I couldn't hear it.
Someone hear that mouse?
We're short one. What am I going to
short one? What are you talking about?
The number of carrots. Koide-san, are you sure you didn't miscount? Why not check one more time?
Bunch of girls, a carrot goes missing?
Carrots?
As they explained the situation to me, there had been a total of 11 carrots carefully stocked away. On Captain Sakashida's orders, when that number fell to 10, they were planning to halt distribution and hold the rest in reserve. But when Koide-san counted this morning, the 11th carrot they'd been intending to divide and hand out to the group was missing.
Who stole the carrot?
So, starting today, we aren't getting any more carrots?
That's not especially important right now. The problem lies in the fact that one of the carrots disappeared without explanation.
It's probably that mouse.
Disappeared?
It's that mouse girl.
Or that dog.
Carrots don't have legs, so it didn't vanish on its own power, which would leave two plausible possibilities. Either she simply miscounted, or somebody ate it. It wasn't me, I didn't touch them. It's true, I can't stand carrots for one thing. That's totally what somebody that ate a carrot would say. Please rest assured, I'm not suggesting you're to blame. It's just that if you didn't miscount, we're going to be faced with a far thornier dilemma.
How do we execute people?
What do you mean?
In all likelihood, the carrot was stolen. Therein lies the real problem. Stolen by who? By whom? Exactly. That question is going to lead to a great deal of trouble. Conducting a criminal investigation in a claustrophobic situation like this would quickly give rise to widespread paranoia. I don't understand you when you talk.
So let's just blame you. We need a scapegoat.
To be honest, spiraling into disunity and mutual mistrust would be an absolute catastrophe for us under these circumstances.
A cat trophy.
Catastrophe.
Everyone suspects everyone else. And it's oh wait, that's still her.
Everyone suspects, is it?
I think
everyone
so.
else, and is suspected in turn. That's never a pleasant feeling, and it rarely ends well. It certainly wouldn't help that our group was composed of half-starving teenage girls. If the criminal were discovered, there's no doubt she would have faced a vicious denunciation session.
Oh my god, you're not allowed on my sleepover tomorrow.
And if the investigation failed, it was all too obvious that reign of condemnation would fall instead on Koide. I think this is Amane. For allowing this theft for our food supply to take place through her incompetence.
Yeah, you're probably right. Thanks for the break, though.
What can I do? Help me, Kazumi-san. This wasn't my fault, right? I mean, I just did exactly what Chiaki-san, what the captain told me to do. Calm yourself, Ri-chan. Rice-chan.
Slap.
Look, you can't call her that. She's older than you, isn't she? Since when were you childhood friends?
Listen carefully, Koide-san. Fortunately, the only people who currently know we've misplaced this carrot are the... it's like Yumiko voice. Just it slips into it sometimes. The three of us and the thief who took it off our hands. In other words, I believe this won't come to light so long as we keep silent.
Whoa, brushing the dirt onto the rug? You trying to make us all accessories to the crime?
That's impossible! Mr. Ochi and the captain knew how many carrots we had left too. Even if we don't say anything, they'll find out eventually.
It wasn't a proportionally large theft, but carrots are easy enough to count. Its disappearance would be all too obvious.
In this situation, there are two solutions. Perhaps ways out would be the more appropriate term. There's the fun way and the boring way. Which would you like to hear? The fun way! Yay! I like fun!
No, how about you tell us both?
That's no fun. Well then, I'll start with the fun plan. It's nice and simple too. Just blow this proverbial popsicle stand, grab all the remaining carrots, and make a run for it.
Let's do it.
Run? Huh? Why? To where? When you get right down to it, your greatest fear about this whole affair is that you'll be severely scolded by the captain, yes? In that case, why not flee into the woods with all the carrots?
Kazuki.
In that case, why not flee into the woods with all the carrots and try your luck at an escape attempt?
It's weird that they would put her name again
I don't
instead of just
know why they
continuing
do
that.
Probably so that way you know it doesn't slip back into Amane narration.
Yeah, that's true. Almanation.
If you're lucky enough to succeed and summon help, no one will blame you for taking a few carrots. Quite the contrary, I imagine you'd be viewed as a heroic savior, earning the perpetual adulation of all involved.
That's your fun way?
Yeah, isn't it fun? It does sound fun, doesn't it?
No, it does not.
Oh, well, you haven't heard the other way yet.
Shucky darn.
Shucks durns it all.
Shucks, go shuck yourself.
Well, don't use those kind of words with me. Poop mouth!
Poop come out of your mouth.
Please take this seriously. Unless you help, Chucky-san's absolutely going to kill me.
Incidentally, what's the boring way?
Ah, well, it really is quite dull, you know. A little numerical alignment, nothing more.
What's that supposed to mean?
In short, there's no problem if we have the same number of carrots we did yesterday, correct? Or one less person.
With those words, Kazuki picked up a kitchen knife and casually lopped off the tip of the nearest carrot with quick, firm strokes. She sliced the carrot into pieces, then started right in on the next one.
What are you doing? Don't play around with our precious foods! Just calm down and watch. See, here we are, 11 carrots. Yeah, just chop them all up and then split it into 11ths.
Huh? When I looked down at the cutting board, the missing vegetable had somehow reappeared. I counted the sliced carrots again. Slowly and carefully, there were 11 in total.
How did you do that?
You wizard!
What is this? 11? No way. You stole it. There really are 11. This is bizarre. How did you do it?
There's a rather famous puzzle that works out on this principle. You're not familiar with it? God damn.
I'm sure you're going to explain it.
If you cut a number of similar objects into sections and resort them, the total area seems to increase. Or oppositely, even after adding a piece, the area seems to stay constant. It's a very common spatial brain teaser. Ah, now that you mention it, I think I might have seen a wooden puzzle kind of like that in some souvenir shop. It was most likely some variety of Pentamino's puzzle. In any case, what I did this time is a much simpler trick. A careful glance should be enough to see that each carrot is missing a single section. If we had more carrots, the proportion taken from each would be smaller, so it would be harder to detect.
Are all the carrots the exact same size, though?
God, creepy. You're a witch. A witch, I say. Freaky.
So she just cut out a section of each carrot and created another carrot with it.
Yeah. She cut them all so they're all in pieces.
Right.
And then lined them up to look like they're all full carrots cut in pieces.
How very rude. If you're too uppity, I just might transform you into a mouse, you know.
That's what you did to me.
I don't care if you're a witch. Just make more food then. Thank you, Kazumi-san. I'll repay you for this someday. That's quite all right, Ri-chan. No need to worry yourself about that.
I'm telling you, stop calling her that. You have no respect whatsoever for your elders, do you?
She's small and has a tiny squeaky voice.
Also, who cares in this situation?
Was Koide-senpai aware?
Yeah, the principal's not doing shit.
Right.
Or the captain.
Yeah,
Exactly who she just put herself in debt to?
Even so.
Even so, in the end,
Kazuki said not to worry about it, so maybe a trick like that doesn't even register as a favor for her. Personally, though, I thought her smile at that moment was saying, I don't expect you'd be much use to me anyway, and it sent a bit of a chill down my spine. Either way, I sure as heck didn't have the courage to ask Kazuki for clarification.
It would have to sit here for another however long.
Are we on day 7 now?
We are on day 7!
Oh my god, we're just plowing through this.
The 7th day in the valley.
It's one quick event, and then that's the whole day, I guess.
I'm okay with that. It's kind of going how the whole main story went, where it was like, let's drag on all this stuff. Now let's throw a bunch of stuff at you for no reason. Now the game can start.
Yeah, right. 7th day in the valley.
We just shit on this game so much. I feel bad. We shit on every game. It's fine.
It's true.
I mean, I gotta shit on something to avoid shitting on myself.
Status quo unchanged. The end.
Oh.
Wow.
No, I guess that's a bit too extreme. An abridged version.
I mean, yeah, what?
She's just giving up hope.
Yeah.
We now spent a solid week shipwrecked. Naturally, no one was running around like chickens with their head cut off anymore. Our lives had taken on the repetitive quality of a long-running television show that's decayed into a pale imitation of its former self.
Can you name one of those?
Movie star and the rest. The kind you keep watching every week out of sheer inertia. Although we were thoroughly sick of eating, or even looking at the vile plant soup that had become our primary sustenance, its proportion of our diet was only rising. The amount of rice distributed to us was decreasing steadily with each passing day. And even the edible grasses that had seemed so infinitely abundant at first were vanishing with alarming swiftness from the picked-over areas near the entrance to the forest. Everything was in short supply.
Better look for those mushrooms.
About the only thing we were gaining more of from day to day was boredom. It's time to eat the dog. It's time. As we'd grown accustomed to life here, there was a lot less pointless effort being expended, and a lot more time sitting around quietly preserving our energy. Other than that, I suppose we at least had an effect. One of your upstairs neighbors is like moving furniture
I don't know
around
what the
or
hell
something.
they're doing. They need to stop.
Limitless supply of water from the spring, but since we were all using it heavily, the water needed to be boiled before we could drink. There were a number of people who found this delay irritating, sometimes skipping it entirely, myself among them. Oh no. But Kazuki strongly recommended that we heat the water to 170 degrees for at least a minute in order to kill the bacteria likely proliferating in the stream. Everyone's gonna get fucking, like, dysentery.
Yeah.
They're gonna shit themselves.
It's a nightmare.
It seemed that chronic diarrhea had begun to spread among those who continued to drink the water raw.
Yeah, I mean,
You fucking idiots.
why would you do that?
Oh my god, they're so dumb. That we're at an episode.
Diarrhea? That reminds me. This video is sponsored by Pepto-Bismol. Upset stomach, diarrhea?
Hey,
Heartburn.
Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah.
What is that? Upset stomach, diarrhea.
Diarrhea is the last one.
Yeah.
Heartburn, something, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Heartburn, stomach ache. No.
Heartburn.
Heart.
I don't know. Who cares?
God, no, we need to know. Sorry, we can't end the episode till we figure it out.
We're not going to figure it out.
No, we have to figure it out. Look it up right now.
Yeah, by looking it up.
Heartburn, nausea? Heartburn, nausea,
Yeah,
indigestion,
there you go.
Upset stomach, diarrhea.
Yay,
Hey,
Pepto-Bismol.